All right, we will go ahead and get started today. I am going to dive right in, and I'm going to talk about the parable of talents. Good morning. Good morning, Lori. All right, and so the parable of talents, it tells us that a master entrusts his servants with different amounts of talents before leaving on a journey. One servant receives 5 talents, another two, and a third one, and the third one. The first two servants invest their talents wisely and return them with a profit, while the third buries his talent. When the master returns, he rewards the first two for their diligence and faithfulness, while severely condemning the third for his lack of effort and responsibility. There's a few lessons that we want to take from this. Using your God given talents, the parable emphasizes that we are entrusted with talents, and it's our responsibility to use them to serve God and others. Diligence and effort. The successful servants were rewarded for their hard work and dedication. Accountability. We will be held accountable for how we use our gifts and resources. Success is not about the amount of talents. The parable shows that the reward for success is proportional to the diligence and effort invested, not the initial amount of talents received. Again, success is not about the amount of talents. The parable shows that the reward for success is proportional to the diligence and effort invested, not the initial amount of talents received. Fear of failure is a hindrance. The third servant's failure to use his talents was due to his fear of losing it. God's definition of success. The parable suggests that the true success is found in fulfilling one's calling and serving God with one's abilities, regardless of the size of the task. So, my question is to you: what talents are you bearing in the industry? Your success in real estate. What are your God given talents that we choose every single day for one reason or another to bury because we're afraid of rejection? We're afraid it won't work. So we try another way. We're afraid of being mocked, laughed at. What talent are you bearing? And please make sure every single day you're not bearing those talents. That's how I'll start. Does anybody have anything that they want to say on that?
I think I have an idea.
Okay.
Um, so I'm trying to make myself do more videos. A lot of times I do videos of just properties and I might say hello like for 2 seconds at the beginning and that's it. And I think
Okay.
and I can pretty much talk to anyone, I've been told. So I probably need to, go into that more often, like use it more, I guess.
Well, love it. Love it. So if people are constantly telling you that you're good on camera, you're a connector, what's holding you back from that?
I think probably saying that I need to look perfect when I do them, and I know I just need to be human, and I need to get past that, honestly.
100%. 100%. Do you guys I think that we've moved away from the human, the perfection aspect on social media, and I think people are just catching on to that being fake now. And it's let's try to find ways to be more human more often nowadays. I think that's what pays the bills is when people get to see on our authentic self. And if the video isn't perfect, at least we're trying. I think this you have to be perfect online thing that was a fad, and now everybody knows that it's a farce and nobody cares.
Right.
They just
I,
want to see you be you.
I was talking to a new agent that I'm working with, and I made a comment about, when we go in here and talk to these people, let's just make a connection and like be human, not be salesmen or salespeople, whatever. and and it worked. I mean, we made a connection, and he was like, you're right. And I did that with some clients that came to one of my open houses. I didn't want to sell them. I just wanted to kind of connect with them. And then we ended up looking at a house and going under contract.
And I love that. Lori, were you on our call when we did when I explained our listing appointment to people?
I don't think so.
Okay. Was anybody on that call?
Or maybe you need to tell me what you're talking about, because I've been on several. I'm not sure if I know which one you're talking about.
So our listing appointment, there's no sales approach to it. Um, because I read once that people hate being sold, they love shopping with friends. So I share that all the time. And the reason you're losing a listing appointment isn't because your presentation wasn't good enough, wasn't because you didn't have the right stats, wasn't because your packet wasn't pretty. It's because you don't have a connection with them. So many real estate agents, they walk in the door and they're corporate minded. They're in their suit and tie mind, and they're selling how good they are. They're selling how good they can sell the house. They're selling how much information that they know, and then they're never getting any questions out of the homeowner or trying to make a connection. So I want you to think of it two ways, right? Are you walking in there in a suit with a light to interrogate this person and strong arm them into a listing agreement, or are you going in there and saying, I'm going to make a connection with this person. And at the point where I know that I have such a strong connection, I will ask them for the sale, because at that point they won't say no to me because we're just friends.
I was on that call. Yes, sorry.
Yep. So that is how we think of our listing appointments, exactly like what you said. The more time I spend about building a relationship with them, I can walk into a for sale by owner house and I start talking to them, and you can feel whether, okay, am I going to be able to close this person because they're super high D, and then I need to switch how I'm going to connect with this person, or is this person going to be super high eye? I can come in there smiling, I can talk, and by the time we reach the kitchen, I know that I've got the listing.
Hmm.
The cool part about our industry is we don't sell anything. We get to we get to build connections, understand the market, and then the buyers are the ones who are selling it for us, right? If you're sitting there selling anything, you have commission breath, and your consumers can tell.
Right.
So how are you guys connecting with more people? How are we being more human more often? What are some other ways?
Just like those people I was just talking about, they came to open house, and when they wanted to see a house another day, I was like, well, I can either meet you now and I'm very casually dressed, or I can get dressed up. And she said, no, please come now. We don't care. And we, made that connection, went under contract. And that night she said, thank you for coming to our rescue, because they needed to find something quickly. And she said, this is perfect. So she didn't care what I was wearing or how I was looking. She was more concerned about me being there.
Yeah. That sounds like a friend, because if
Hmm.
you were friends, if you weren't a friend, they would care how you felt. They would care how you look, but you make a connection, and that doesn't matter.
Yep.
Give me some else. What other talents are you bearing? Let me ask you guys this. What would you like to see from these calls? Do you guys want these to be more engaging? Do you guys want more market stats? What would you guys like to see if you were to jump on these calls Tuesday through Thursday from 8:30? What do you want to see?
I mean, I do like the engagement, but I don't want to be talking.
Yep. I love that.
This may sound weird, but I don't actually have a preference. It's just something to get me focused. You know what I mean? I like stats. I like you giving pointers. I like people engaging. Um, Really, it's a way for me to get my mind right going into each day. So
Okay.
whether that's from a technical standpoint or whether that's from a attitude standpoint, I think any direction is good direction as long as it's productive.
Got it. Got it. Okay. What else? So just really, this is anything works for you guys. What about Christina? I saw you came off.
Yeah, I was just gonna echo what he was saying. Again, sometimes, depending on what you guys are speaking about, I like the interaction. I like, the preaching that we get on Thursdays from Mr. Cohn. Again, it's just kind of that start to the day that, like, let me get my mind right. Let me get in the mind space that I need to be in to conquer the day.
Got it. Okay.
Motivation's definitely there. Bad listening days, I think.
Okay. Okay.
I honestly don't understand why there's not more people on it, to be honest with you. But that's my thought.
And that's what we want to know as well, right? We want this to be of value to everybody. We want this to be um, an engaging 30-minute call every single day. Obviously, might never make it 30 minutes, but we want this to be something that everybody jumps on. So just wanted to ask you guys that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've kind of,
Oh, good.
I've kind of wondered, why we're not on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I asked this question in our training session yesterday. We had a mid-year kind of business plan review type thing, recharge, reset. And I think it was pretty good. But it was so many people in there. I'm like, hey, we share some of the stuff I'm talking about. We talk about this on Market of the Moment on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, right? And so, like, did you know? And a lot of people just didn't know. But one of the things I was gonna ask, I know all of you here, pretty regulars. Would anyone be open to submitting like just a short little review or kind of a testimonial per se? It doesn't have to be a video unless you wanted to, but just saying, it's something that you've gotten from us here and how it may have impacted your business or your life over the last couple of weeks, and something that we can share to invite others and show others the actual impact. If anybody's up to it.
I would, because I have
I'm
a couple agents.
awesome. Thank you. Yeah, if y'all want to just, and you can think about it, but just send us, a quick couple of sentences or something that we can put on some social media content and post. Would love that. If you want it to be anonymous, that's cool too. But I just think that a lot of people don't join or don't come because they don't know that there is going to be impact. And so, just want to be able to share somebody's actual testimony.
Well, I think if there's more people on here, there's more, um, communication, and it's going to make it better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like they're just on camera, preaching to us or telling us what
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, a lot of people, we talk about a lot of things that people that's not on the call, they're the ones that actually need to hear it.
Sure.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But it's my 2 cents, Ben. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, I will cut today's call short for you guys, but I appreciate that feedback. We'll bring on some more motivation, get everybody's mind right as we do this, and hopefully we can get more people to jump on. And I appreciate you all.
Thank you for your time.
Of course, we'll see you soon, friends.
Thanks, man.